All right, folks, here we go with the DD2. Is this thing working? With the DD2 and DD2 Masters, heat number 1. As they make their way now to the start-finish line. Here they come down towards us now. The lights go off as they run down into turn number 1. And it is Julian van der Walt. Van der Walt gets the whole shot there out of KFM corner. A lot of carts running pretty wide as they work their way out of KFM. Now they head through the kink, through the first of the hairpins, working out hairpin number 2. And it is Van der Walt that leads there. Julian van der Walt in the CRG from the Western Province Motor Club, running down hard through Cosmic Corner and into Golf Club. And already Van der Walt got a pretty big lead over the driver in second position.
Well, he might have a big lead, but it doesn't always last. And Bradley Liebenberg, well, there's a big name in karting. He sits there in P2. He's not going to let him go too easy. We try and pick up who's there behind him. It looks like that is the number 23 that's there. That's Leroy Poulter. So Leroy had a good start of it. He's up there now, and he's going to make his presence felt. And already there's a little bit of argy-bargy coming out of the 180s. Frankie making their intentions known early.
Well, I'll tell you what, behind Leroy Poulter, we've got Yuri Swart. He sits in there behind Leroy Poulter on the 39 as they head down into Cosmic Corner. Into Golf Club now, we're with Leroy Poulter as we drive out of Box Corner and head through the Kiosk Kink down into turn number 1. KFM, they come now. Bradley Liebenberg is in second position. He's in third position. He's in there behind Poulter. Then we've got Yuri Swart. That sits in there behind the 12. He's in the 39. That's Cape Town's Yuri Swart. And he's all over the back there of the 12 of Bradley Liebenberg. So Brad Liebenberg makes his way out of the hairpins. He's got Yuri Swart rammed in there behind him as they turn right. Run down the back main, but heading into Cosmic Corner is race leader Julian van der Walt.
Well, have a look up there behind Yuri Swart. It's that man, Michael Steven, who sits in there. He's going to make his intentions known pretty shortly. He's not going to hang around. But Umpi up behind Bradley there. He's a local favorite. He's pretty quick around there. Still up front there now. It's Julian van der Walt. And here we go. Yuri Swart making his intentions known as they come out of KFM. But Leroy is having none of it.
Well, having none of it, there was a pieces of cart that went flying there as they make their way back into the second of the hairpins. Working out of the hairpins now through the S's they go. They run down the back main. It's Julian van der Walt that's there in P1. In second position, it's still Leroy Poulter. Poulter is in P2 in the Imperial Toyota CRG. And he, of course, leads the Masters. So Imperial Toyota, Leroy Poulter, second place overall, but P1 in the Masters, catching the 42 of WPMC's Julian van der Walt in the CRG.
Well, it's all happening there. Leroy Poulter, early days, starting to stamp down his authority there in the mid-pack. And Brad Liebenberg also having a great one-over out there. But still, Julian van der Walt leads out. And, well, he's pushing pretty hard, Frankie. And I tell you what, it must be pretty hard with all that sun baking down on you.
Yeah, definitely. Right there behind him, we still got second place man and P1. That is Leroy Poulter. As the group now makes its way out of the Cosmic Corner, out of Golf Club. They're running now through Kiosk Kink. They'll work their way down the home straight. Here comes race leader Julian van der Walt. Poulter sits in second. Liebenberg sits in there behind him. Then behind him, it is Yuri Swart. That's working his way there out of KFM through the kink and into the first of the hairpins.
Yeah, no, Yuri Swart sits in fourth position. I'm sure he wants to be a little bit higher. But, you know, you've got to bide your time and work your way through the race. Bradley Liebenberg, absolutely no slouch. Michael Stevens sits there in about P5. He's got his work cut out for him now. As they make their way into Cosmic now, out of Golf Club now, into Bogs Bend now. They come past the Kiosk Kink now, down through, into the back to the main straight now. Still, it's Julian van der Walt. Van der Walt leads out front. He's got his head down. And he's really got his work cut out there, because up behind him now, it's that man Leroy Poulter who's really pressing his number.
Yeah, not too far behind them. It's number one. It is Michael Steven in the CRG. He sits second in the Masters to Leroy Poulter. as they make their way out of the hairpins. Through the S's they go now, working down the back main to Cosmic. And it's all about that man up front, but there's a hell of a lot of dicing going on through there. And they work out of Box Bend, working their way through Kiosk King. We ride with Bradley Liebenberg. Right behind him is a 39, and that's Yuri Swart. Behind Yuri Swart, heading down towards us, we've got Michael Steven. And Steven sits P2 in the Masters, and he's closing up there on Brad Liebenberg and Yuri Swart.
Well, Yuri Swart's going to be in a nasty sandwich pretty shortly because he's going to have two greats around him then, that and Liebenberg and Michael Steven. But Yuri Swart, a very, very composed karter, I might add, from the Western Cape, and he knows his way around the circuit. He knows what's expected of him. But still out front, Julian van der Walt, local man. He's pushing hard there. He's got the man Leroy Poulter sitting there in P2. And I tell you what, Frankie, don't fall asleep here because you're going to get latched on pretty quickly.
Well, Cameron O'Connor on the 93 is also coming through as well. O'Connor, as a matter of fact, is right on the case of Michael Steven. So watch the 93 of Cameron O'Connor. He's also making a move. And then Fabian Lance as well in the 96. She is right in there as well. He's a fabulous Fabian, as we know her from back in the day. And she sits right on the back bumper there of Cameron O'Connor.
Well, as the race progresses now, it's starting to get a little bit tighter. They're starting to punch up as the tires bed in nicely now. And have a look at the Fabian Lance coming through there now. The karters are now starting to get a little bit frenetic as they fight their way now. Fabian Lance has now got... Fabian Lance has now got past. She's up, and the crowd show their appreciation as they clap hands. And Michael Steven, funnily enough, not doing too much out there at the moment, Frankie.
Yeah, not too much. Fabian is pulling away now from O'Connor, while O'Connor comes right back again. And if she keeps on like this, she might just hone in on the back of the SA champion, who's lying second in the Masters in this race. And that, of course, is Michael Steven, who also races for the engine Audi in a Sassel GTC as well for the Terry Moss stable. So he might come under attack pretty shortly as well by the lady racer Fabian Lance.
Well, it's good to see the ladies in motorsport out there showing their mettle and putting it to the guys. But still, it's Julian van der Walt, followed there by that man, Leroy Poulter, as they go out of KFM now, down in towards the 180s now. And it looks like Poulter is closing up. Poulter is closing that gap. And leading the Masters currently there now. Leroy Poulter sits in P2, and it's still that man, Bradley Limburg, sitting there in P2, or P3 I should say, apologies. And local man Yuri Swart sitting in P4. Yuri biding his time, it looks like it, Frankie.
Well, of course, Leroy is leading the Masters, and he's sponsored there by Imperial Toyota. Michael Steven in the CRG, the current SA champion, is second in the Masters, but leading overall, the man from Cape Town, who also races in Vestec Formula 1600s, and that, of course, is Julian van der Walt. So van der Walt leads there, going into the second of the hairpins as he works his way out. Bradley Liebenberg sits there in second position. He is in the Briart machine as they run down the back main, working their way out of Cosmic and Golf Club.
Well, it's getting a little bit tighter now, but still Van der Walt leading out. Poulter's closing up now as they go down over the start-finish line. And Van der Walt takes the wider line, keeps it tight. They drift into KFM now. Poulter's considerably closer, so too is Brad Liebenberg. The front three are closing down. It's up to the likes of Umpi Swat to try and close down and join the front four. He sits relaxed in his cart. There too comes that man, Michael Steven, also starting to up the ante a bit now as they come up towards Cosmic now. And the front three are getting a little bit closer. So they go now into Golf Club. And I tell you what, Julian van der Walt's got his work cut out because Leroy Poulter is right up behind him too. Bradley Limburg is in there too now. They go through Kiosk King. They make their way up to the start-finish line. The front three are pretty close. Van der Walt knows he's got his work cut out now. They're going to drift into KFM. Frankie, tight stuff.
Well, it's Leroy Poulter from Julian van der Walt from Brad Liebenberg. First, second and third into the right hand of the first of the 180s. As he looks on the outside, does Van der Walt. but it's still Poulter that leads there out the second of the 180s. Now through the S's, onto the back main they go now. Liebenberg has now gone up into that second position as they run through Cosmic and into Golf Club. So as they work their way out now, it is Liebenberg in second. Van der Walt sits there in third, but your race leader and leading the Masters, the 23 of Leroy Poulter.
Well, a great maneuver from Leroy Poulter. He looks over his shoulder, but look at this. Oh, almost 3 abreast as they went into KFM. They're in their last lap now. So Leroy Poulter leads out there now. And Bradley Limburg sits in P2. Julian van der Wat's in there now. And look at that now. Yuri Swartz also moved a bit closer now. It's going to be a final coming down to the wire now as they make their way up towards Cosmic. Leroy Poulter's got the hammer down, Frankie. Take him to the line.
Well, Poulter has got the hammer down and he pulled the pin when it mattered. And Liebenberg sits there in second position. Then it's Julian van der Walt followed by Yuri Swart. That's why they're going to hit the checkered flag. They run now through Kiosk King, through Pit S's, to the checkered flag they go. It's Leroy Poulter P2, Liebenberg comes home in second, Van der Walt comes home in third, and fourth across the line is Yuri Swart.
Well, that was some frenetic stuff there now in the DD2 and DD2 Masters. And winning out in the Masters there, that man, Leroy Poulter, followed by Michael Steffen in the Masters. And some great stuff out there, Frankie.